Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Coffee and Commerce. I'm excited to introduce Kaleena Zagrzebski, Director of Customer Retention and CRM at Foot Locker with me today. So the team at Foot Locker has been making a cultural shift from a focus on channel and product to a focus on the shopper. And they're here today to share some insights on why it's so important and how they're doing it. So Kaleena, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Awesome. So tell me about this. Why is your team making this cultural shift?
Yeah, so we know that success is not just about the products that perform well or the success of all of these different channels that we as retailers have. It's about the shopper, each customer that we have. The industry is changing quickly, and long-term success is about giving each shopper an experience that's unique to them. It's something that I think a lot of us have known is important for a while, and now it's finding out the best way to action on it. So, and for the CRM channels, up until about 2 years ago, the email and SMS and push areas were completely separate teams. They were very siloed, and now all three of those channels are in one area, as well as very close to the other paid media channels as well. So we know all of these channels play a super important role in the customer journey, and it's just figuring out that right mix for each customer. So now we're all kind of in one area and working together to do so.
That's huge. Now, when it came to really putting pen to paper on this shift, how did you get started and who was part of that decision?
Yeah, so we wanted to align on what it means to be shopper-centric. So that meant, obviously unifying our teams together, which we did. But in the meantime, we also put a deck together with data. So we put together, what type of customers have the highest lifetime value. So if anyone's not familiar, Foot Locker has multiple different brands. So who are our most valuable customers and what are their shopping patterns? Are they loyalty members? Are they shopping on the app? Those types of things. So we wanted to understand all of these patterns that gave us the highest lifetime value to be able to say, here's where we're at today. Is this the right mix? Is this the right thing we want to see? And where do we want to improve? So now we got buy-in from all of the leadership team, the leaders of the different banners that Foot Locker has. And now we're putting that plan into action.
I'm hearing that more and more. It's no longer about growth and acquisition at all costs. It's about doing it profitably and then retaining your best and most valuable customers. So tell me more about how your team is doubling down on delivering on that promise.
Yeah, so we are continuing to use the predictive modeling that we've been using for a couple of years now, activating on all of the shopper and behavioral data that we have and using those product recommendations. And we're setting up all of these new measures to report on lifetime value and be a little less about the channel itself and more about how the channel impacts those customer metrics. We want to boost each shopper's value over time and understand the strategies that we can implement that help us get there. And we're also looking at, repeat purchases and time to the second purchase, and wanting to show that we're retaining shoppers consistently and getting them to buy again and again and again.
Yeah, those channel metrics are important leading indicators, but the shopper metrics and what they're doing is really what's going to drive to that bottom line. So what's next for you and the Foot Locker team?
Yeah, so a big thing for us, we've been saying this forever, is just testing, and always trying to test something, but really just starting to put that plan into action. We've started to do a few things here and there, but getting the tools in place and getting the team in place and putting all of these things together and finally putting it into action. It feels like we've been working on it for a really long time, but obviously these things take time. So, but we're also eyeing up more cross-channel strategies and seeing how we can bring in channels, beyond email and SMS and push and those typical, CRM channels. So trying to bring those in and try to meet each shopper's preferences and expectation, and testing everything along the way too.
Yeah, I'm sure every retail marketer can empathize. The more I can test faster, the better.
Exactly. Yes.
So awesome. Kaleena, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
And thanks everyone for joining Coffee and Commerce.